Alright, so today's video, we're watching a gold 5 DPS on PS5, playing some Ashe and Anran. You're going to see a first round of Ashe, and then after that, it's going to be Anran. And they say, hi, I've been playing a lot of Anran and really enjoy her playstyle. This game was very close, I won't spoil, but I was wondering if there's anything I can do to improve. I was playing the game in a trio, my supports, and I think our team synergized for the most part. I tend to dive in, and sometimes that is not always ideal, but Anran has that kind of playstyle. Well, we'll talk about that when we get to it. Also, was wondering what perks are the best for her, as I sometimes just pick whatever in the moment. I think her perks are still up in the air for what you think's best, if I'm going to be real with you, but yeah, we'll see. All right, up on the high ground they go. I don't mind you going for early picks. Dude, this scope, okay, am I losing it, or is that scope, like, zoomed in way more than most? Dude, this weapon is every Ashe weapon like that, or am I just noticing it? What the heck? I've never had this skin, but that is massive. Dude, man, I don't know. Okay, anyway. Dude, maybe I'm losing it. Anyway, so far, you're doing fine, except don't end up in that low ground where you're just at. As in, like, don't play Reaper, play Ashe. Yep. You don't want to end up in these spots where you end up on the low ground like this. Even if you're going to end up on the low ground, you got to play your distance. I feel like you're playing a little bit too front and center on them. Get out. Don't reset. Dynamite depth perception needs a little bit of work. How do I know this? I also do the same thing. I would just wait. Yeah, you just lose that team fight. Nothing you can do about that. That was just a lost team fight. Okay. I want you to back up. I want you to back up again. I want you to look at the spots you're putting yourself in. Do you notice? Okay, I'm going to talk about this because people always want to improve on their aim and all that stuff, but one of the easiest ways to improve on your aim is not put yourself in rough spots to where you have to sit there and spin in circles the whole time. That's why I stress positioning so much. Think about this. If you're just set up back here already, you're going to be chilling. The only person who's going to really cause problems is like their sniper, right? Sojourn, maybe Kiriko hit some shots. But when your team has to worry about everybody else here, look at where you're at. Okay? Not good. And your aim, everything, your movement's going to get worse when you're in this spot because you have to kind of panic around and like make these like weird plays. Like you just got slammed by a Mauga on second point, Route 66. That should say a lot about where you're set up right now. Okay, here we go. You're running to the point. Okay. You got the dynamite. That was good. But you're okay, this is good. Do not leave this spot. Literally do not leave this spot. They can get to you, but it's going to take them a lot. Do not leave here. You could bob this, technically. The reason why I'm fine with this. This is going to slow them down to give your teammates teammate. But the most important thing here, you cannot give them the reset here. You have to stay alive up here with your life weaver. Do not let them get a kill. Wait for your team. Your team's back now. Now you're set. What? No, do not drop. I want you on that. No. Okay. I want to get you out of the habit of just standing still for that perfect dynamite. You can do the exact same thing at a good spot up there. We're also aiming in. You don't even need to like look at them now with the perk you took. You can just do the remote detonation one, which is pretty quick. I just feel like you put yourself a little bit too close to them again. Thankfully, they're not looking at you, but like... okay. Good kills. That's a Juno ultimate. But good job by your team. Now, again, do you see why I was very happy with you going on the initial high ground, though? Because you survived that, and they couldn't kill you because you used your positioning to stay on high grounds, and all you had to do was, all you had to do was worry about aiming, nothing else. You didn't have to run around in circles. You didn't have to run around the map. Like, that is why I want you to set up in good spots as Ashe. If you don't, you're going to fall over. Most of the time. Obviously, you're getting away with some plays that... okay, yeah. They're going to be to your left now because they're not going to go through the same doorway. Notice they're to your left. Yep, back away. You can wait a second. Be patient. You're good. You have numbers. Okay, there you go. Good job. Go back up on the high ground. I want you to get up on... I want you to eventually try to get... oh, you're dead there, but... I would have loved to have you go up here eventually when there was a slight downtime because this is going to be such a dominant spot the rest of this like team fight because you have like an angle they can't really do much about. So... like, you kind of put yourself to a default position, and of course, they eventually get the pick on you. So, yeah. Do I upload this today? No. Different days. Yeah. Just a little bit of a note, Chad. If you're the Lucio on the other team and you capture the point, do not pop beat right here. I just want to point that out. Do not pop beat right here. Okay. Yeah, you don't. Even if you lose the team fight there, you're gonna be fine. That was something. Do not pop this. Do not pop this. Do not pop this. Do not pop this. Run away. Go back to spawn. Run away. Go back to spawn. Do not stay here. Do not give them a free kill. That Bob got a kill. I can't even say anything. Because, like, the reason why you don't want to bob that initially is because I think it's going to be better for a retake, but then they died to the bob, so I can't, like, say anything. Like, it worked. So, like, it's hindsight. But, like, I think your bob would have had more value once you had more teammates there, but it worked. You know, like, it worked. So, but I wouldn't have bobbed. I would have waited. But that's just adapting on the fly. Okay, I'm okay with this starting spot for you. Good Dynamite. Notice how you didn't have to just stand there and stare at them to do that? Like, once you have a general idea, you can just do that and hit the button without even looking at them. Your teammate gave up a lot of positioning here, so, yeah. Why are you not setting the detonation on that one? That would have gotten 2 of them already. Make sure to hit those buttons earlier. So a lot of, like, the way that you play right now is there's 2 styles to your play style. There's a play style and then there's a pause style. And I feel like what happens is that when you start to actually play, things go fairly well. But then after everything stops, you just pause and you don't think about what's next. You don't think about, okay, where should I go that's going to be a tougher shot in it? Where do I need to go that is going to get the most value for my supports? You just kind of stop and you just stop. So one thing I want you to start thinking about is after a team fight is won, I want you to prioritize going to a good high ground spot, a good angle that's tough to get to, not just kind of sitting there and waiting. A lot of, like, we need to get you playing the whole time and not pausing. Like, there's downtime in Overwatch, but a lot of the time that the players that utilize that downtime to, like, get an advantage for the next team fight will have better results. So I want that to go through your mind now when you finish a team fight. Don't stand still. Don't just go there and wait. Find spots that are going to be advantageous to your team. Then the next step is, where can I disengage to now if things don't go well? And I think you're not thinking about the disengage spot, and you just stay there like a statue. So let's get you out of the statue mode and out of the pause style, and I think you're going to be in a good spot, okay? I mean, honestly, you're making the right play there. I don't think there's many words I can have for their setup they just did. Just so I can understand this. There was a Mauga with a Cassidy standing at the front doors of your spawn. Okay, I want to talk about this. I'm going to get this kind of set up for the rest of this right now. I have a play style. It's called Anran, okay? I have a couple of rules for this play style, but I will say it's at a 76% win rate right now in top 500, believe it or not. And this play style is this. There's a couple of rules. 1, if they look at you and they're starting to go for you, you run, okay? What this means is you can never overcommit your cooldowns, okay? You know how you have 2 of those shifts, like the shift ability? I hate to break it to you, you have 1. One of those to be aggressive and make a play. You can use your E if you would like, which is going to be, I don't know what it is on console. That's the one where you go invulnerable and do a little bit of damage to them. But you always need to have an escape. And you're going to notice a trend. Team fights go very well when you leave that escape for you. Team fights do not go well when you just hit all your cooldowns. I've played enough Anran now to recognize that you are very cooldown driven. If you overcommit, you will fall over. You will fall over if you overcommit. And that's why you went down right there, is because you just kept spamming those cooldowns. So right now, what I would do is I would kind of just start to poke, right? Okay, you have to get out. There you go. That's the rotation. You got out safely. See it? On run. You got to leave the spot, though. You can't just stay in there. Get out of there and go to your teammates to safety. But so far, again, that's kind of been a bit of the problem right there. Looking at damage, everything's looking good. Okay. Thanks for giving the updates and the keybinds there. Okay, stop running at them. This is, you mentioned a little bit of how, like, like Anran's playstyles, you always have to dive in. No, you don't have to do that. Just do this right now. Do this in the neutral for now. Just spam at them. You don't need to go in yet. There's no reason to go in and feed and get 3 deaths in the matter of a minute by just going at them over and over again. You can spam. This character has range, okay? You can do this. Go left side. No, no, no. See, like, this is, okay. This is the problem you're going to keep running into, is you always need to think of flank, right? This should not be what you're doing on Anran. Dude, I keep saying Anran now because of that play style. Anran. You don't want to do this. Like, this is going to get you killed. Now, will you get away with this? Probably. I mean, the other team was playing at the spawn doors of Fruit 66 right here, so anything can happen. But, like, what I would have done if I was right there and I saw that, I go here. And the reason why I go here is nobody here. You go here and you start spamming them, right? Now, here's my vision. I'm here spamming them. I do a bunch of damage. I can commit into them for the kill, which is towards my teammates for safety. Or if they look at me and I need to make an escape, I have a health pack over here, or I have a health pack over here. Do you see how I've now set myself up for a good flank, a good positioning, and a good escape? That's Anran right now. And if you play like that, I'm telling you, you're going to see a lot of success from Anran. Anyway, I think you're going to end up getting kills here anyway, just because how this game's going, but I just want to get you in the habit of setting up for good spots. Good ultimate, good kill. I don't mind the ultimate, good play. I still think the other result could have happened doing the same thing, and I would like to see you do that setup more. Either way, I will give you credit where credit's due. That was good. That was a good play. Good shots. Good job. Get back to your team. There you go. So, like right here, you just left click the Mauga. You have nothing else you need to do. You don't. Also, I want you to get wary of spamming your invulnerability cooldown. That one becomes very important for timing with your other cooldowns. So when you don't have it, it can be a little bit off. But again, it's working. Teammates are getting kills. Play the health pack to your right, and you're fine. So now you get the point. I don't know where the soldier went either, so don't worry. There you go. There you go. Good job by your team. This is pretty much a free team fight win, as long as you don't feed. And it looks like there will be no feeding. You're good. Good job. Yes, so the combo that's happening there is the Shift E combo. But, like, my concern is overusing those cooldowns to, like, do that. So, like, there needs to be a rotation where you can have your Shift Out. As long as the Shift Out is there, that's fine. That's what I was even mentioning earlier about the playstyle, is, like, you can use your E to do that. But you need to make sure you always have your other Shift. Because if you don't do that, that's how I always fall over as Anran. You need to have that cooldown. Like, using Shift right there is fine, right? Like, that's not the problem. It's just making sure you always have an escape. That's the more important aspect. Well, rank gold. Right here, you can they can hit that button. That's perfect. That's exactly what you do. Right now, but like, I would be okay with this because you have an escape out. Do you see this? Like, you have an escape with your shift. There's a Mauga behind you. Right now, you would shift back to your team or to the health pack. Or I guess you could solo all to Mauga. Probably won't do as much damage as you think, but yep. Again, overcommitting cooldowns. You know what I would have been thinking about here, chat? Not using my ultimate, putting pressure on the Mauga. The moment I need to do something, I go to the health pack right here. Easy, clean, and then you're back at it again. Instead, you overcommit a bunch of stuff, waste your ultimate, and now you're going back to spawn. See what I'm saying?
You're the first to learn that lesson.
Yep. Well, no, I was saying on run instead of on run instead of on run. I'm okay with you being on the card if you want to. I mean, you can set up for these angles. Like, where your like, for example, where that Kiriko was playing from is perfect, right? You go right here, you start spamming them. Again, you have a safety net. They can do a bunch of damage. You can go all the way back here very quickly, get a health pack. You can go underneath to rotate back to your team. If they all drop down and you get a bunch of damage out, I mean, there's a cleanse. You can go through the team and do some damage. So, like, again, I just want you to start to set up a little bit more that's not run back to your team and more of, like, it's okay to poke damage them. Big slam. Like, it's okay to do poke damage from angles. And I think the more and more you do that as Anran, you're going to have good results. At least that's what's worked for me. How is Anran meta-wise? Is she strong? She's okay. I mean, she's not, like, I don't think she's going to take over a meta anytime soon, if at all. But I think she's a fun character to play in ranked. You can get away with it. So, yeah, she's not bad. IJP, thanks for the Prime stuff. Thank you, thank you. Here we go. Reaper goes down. I, again, just want you to make sure you did see, like, you're not seeing a lot of it, but, like, when you do these, like, off-angle plays, do you notice that nobody on their team is looking at you, and then what you do is you actually go back into them so they look at you? Like, the way that you're playing this, you're playing it fine, and then immediately you're like, I can't stay here. This is ridiculous. Stay there. If they're going to give you that room and space to work with, just stay there, right? Yeah, don't do that. Okay. It worked. I'm not mad. I didn't know if they had cleanse or not, so I couldn't really comment. Health pack. Remember, there's a sub-roll passive that exists in Overwatch, and with Anran, you actually get, what, 75 more health per health pack? Take advantage of that, I'm telling you. It is like, it can be make or break for winning team fights. See that mini right there? Normally, you'd be like, okay, do I take it? With that sub-roll passive, you better go get that health pack to your left. Great job. Look at the HP chat. Full HP again. And also, Mojo, thanks for the prime sub. Thank you, thank you. Appreciate it. You see that? All that HP back. Boom. Well played. Now, again, right now, after you win this team fight, which, okay, never mind. I'll be honest with you. I thought you were going to win that team fight, too. I got nothing. Even I would have probably fed there. I would have maybe used that extra cooldown or two, but I probably would have fed there, too. Like, I had the same vision you had. So... Well, yeah, with the 1 to 2 dashes, like, I agree with that, but the thing is like, sometimes you just have a vision of something where you kind of lose track of what's going on in the game, including myself right there. So, like, in hindsight, yes, obviously you would use your cooldowns, you would position yourself better, you would go to the next spot. I thought that team fight was won. So, yes, Overwatch Mobile was just revealed. We looked at it. Yep, Overwatch Rush. So, should be cool. I don't have a problem having another, like, IP for, you know, Overwatch. Yeah, I mean, the Mizuki ultimate, they were all inside of it, so you couldn't go inside the ultimate, and you had a Reaper there. I think that was just a good play by Reaper. And again, I want you to think about how can you get to their team without stacking on top of their team. So I want you to go left side doorway. Yes, exactly. And, like, this is the route you want to take. Like, you're not playing Reaper, right? So you don't want to be stacked with your team as much right here. You want to take these type of routes, the ones that will get you over here, and you always want to be on this side. If I was playing Anran, I would keep ending up over here to create an angle and then find the opportunity to get a kill when it was necessary or when, like, I saw opportunity. But the way that you're playing right now, you're kind of playing it like you would play a Reaper, right? You're just running it down over and over again there. So, yep. Yep. Your team can still tap, I think. Good idea on this ult. Because you need to tap that. Big slam. What a combo. The big slam to get 3, and then your team is going to win this team fight. What a clutch by your Ryan and you. Good decision, by the way. I haven't found a lot of use cases of the ultimate when it's not just getting back for, like, last-second team fights, but having that option is really cool. You can hide this. I again would like for you to go for a top left control, but I can understand any hesitation with there being a overtime. Remember, it's okay to poke. Yeah, at this point, you would just probably right-click. Also, you mentioned your perk selection. You went with the health one. I'm okay with that. I will admit, if your playstyle was a bit more how I was suggested, excuse me, I'm okay with you getting the extended, like, fire perk on them, because if you're doing a lot of consistent poke damage, why not keep the fire damage on them for, like, an extra second? But I don't think you can go wrong with the perk selection of, like, the overhealth and all of that. I think the overhealth is like, going to be just fine. Again, once you clean up your playstyle a little bit, I think you're going to end up in a very, very good spot, at least in my opinion. How much extra damage is the extra added time? I don't even know. Here's my vision, and correct me if I'm wrong. Once you apply the fire damage on them, it will keep reapplying every time you do damage to them, right? So I don't look at it as more of like what is the DPS increase? I think about it as an extra way to keep the fire damage on them for me to work around that, right? So, like, yes, you get the extra damage, but now what if you have that extra second and a half to reapply the fire damage so that way it's still going on them, right? Yeah, so you can keep the dot rolling. So I think that's where you would use that. And if you're doing the playstyle of flanking, I can see some value in that. But I do believe that as time goes on with the perks, you're going to see people take the overhealth one, because I think players are going to get better at farming ultimate, and having the overhealth to be able to, like, clean up team fights will be very useful. So that's kind of what I see. Anyway, here we go. Looks like Mauga has applied the same strategy of running to the spawn doors and standing there. I do like that you went for their backline a little bit more now. I do think you're overcommitting again. Like for example, like right here, I would go up here. I'm serious. If you go up here and you start spamming them, you're going to win this team fight in the end. I want you to, again, think about getting to your spots rather than to get into their heroes. And that is a playstyle adjustment that I think will help you a lot. Now, of course, you'll get a kill on a Lucio and a Reaper somehow, and all of that point is you know, not quite there, but hopefully you understand that just because it works like right now, I'm trying to set you up for when you continuously climb or need to make better decisions, that you're more suited to be able to do so, okay? All right, I mean, again, I just want to get this, and I know I've been hammering these points a lot. When you start to play more Anran in your games, I just want to see you play Anran more like a Tracer Genji type of play style than you are going to play like a Reaper play style. Right now, you play like Reaper. You can play like Reaper when the team fight breaks out, but I want to see more flanks, more poking of them, more running away for a second and then going back when they look away, things like that. So there you go. You play a safe Anran. I mean, I will say you're doing better on Anran than you were on Ashe, if that makes you feel any better. I mean, I don't know if that does, but I do think your Anran's looking solid for the mechanic aspect of it. It's just really this stuff. Like right there. This is that chat. I'm glad we saw that moment. This is what I was talking about. You didn't give yourself an escape option. You went for an aggressive play that made no, like, not necessarily didn't make sense, but you went aggressive play. You spam all your cooldowns, and then you don't have any cooldowns to get out. That is what I'm kind of talking about, is like, if you get in the mindset of you only have one, I'm going to call it a blink for now, like one blink, whatever, your gameplay gets so much easier because it's a pretty direct path of, if you're going in, you go in with your shift, you do your damage, you can hit your E if you would like, or on console, it's one of the bumpers or whatever, right? You hit the button, you escape out, rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. You do that, you're going to get good results. Again, I'll show you, like, in my play style, I don't know if you can see it, but I'm 20-6 on Anran. Now, again, obviously I play with friends at times, so, like, you know, that could maybe help. But, like, the play style of this win rate is a lot of high survivability, and I'm basically timing my engages. And I usually finish, you know, even stat line is right there with everybody else, but it doesn't seem like it because the way that you have to play is a little bit different. So it's like, if I can set you up with these good habits now, I think you could actually roll lobbies with Anran. Because, like, you said you're two of the other supports. They seem to be playing well, right? Outside of that one moment where I watched the Juno just run into the room out of nowhere on second, but your supports have played fine. Like, so if that's your trio, if you get your Anran play style down right now, y'all could go on a streak. I'm telling you. Like, you could go on a streak if you just adapt that play style and minimize the death count on your Anran. So I'm going to talk about that drill. I'll talk about that. I see people bring up matchmaking sometimes. I'll talk about it after I record this, okay? Also, Monitor, thank you for the $10 super chat on YouTube. Thank you, Monitor. I appreciate it. Again, remember, you're doing... I mean, you have another blink, so this is good. But this is a tough one to win. If you win this, actually really impressive. That High Noon gets one? I mean, a 1v1 Kiriko, I take the odds on Kiriko. Is it bad that if there's a 1v1 on Cart with a Kiriko and a Cassidy, I'm going with the Kiriko almost every time. He said decent Anran? No, I mean, I think the good news is that when this player's getting close to them, doing very well. Let's get the play style and the initial setup down, and I think you're going to see a really good progression on your Anran. Like, you can do all of the right click and all the damage you're doing when you're... Oh, boy. You have an escape, so as long as you can get to the health pack. And that right there, chat, is exactly what I'm talking about. 20% ult charge, a distraction to the back line, an escape to the health pack, and then you have another escape out if you need it, and you can rinse and repeat. So what's better here? Getting one shot right there in their back line and having to come back to your team in a 5v4, or survive and putting pressure on them and then getting out? Let's see if you get out completely. But look at that. Perfect. You see why I'm so adamant about that? Now you have no cooldowns, right? So now it's risky for you here. I mean, this couldn't be any more of a perfect example. Am I wrong? This whole sequence was the perfect example of Anran. Went in the back line, survived, got a kill, perfect. Overcommitted your cooldowns, teammates still got picks, you fall over. Pretty straightforward, right? Like that's what I was talking about. Like that's exactly why. Like what you should have done in that situation is stay on the side here after you kill the Mauga. Keep shooting at them. The moment someone puts pressure behind you, shift out to safety, rinse and repeat, you're back to your team, and you're not even doing this. You're still there. You're at 50% ult charge now because you have more uptime. Right? So, like, right here, you can do this. Now, get out. You like, stay on the health pack, play an angle now. You can stay right here. You don't need to go out complete. Do not commit the shift. Not yet. Okay, now you can commit one shift. Okay, now you're good. Now you wait. So wait till about 75% of your next cooldown before you use your next shift, right? Now you can use it because you'll have it by the next one. Get the health pack behind you. Okay. That health pack would have been nice. There it is. You can use a shift in. You can use the E. That's fine. Sorry if I'm saying shift, chat. I just don't know the name of it. You have one more, too. Okay. I'm fine with that. If you were to say my vision was the team fight was over and you wanted to pick up all charge, I'm okay with that. Okay. All right, teammates winning the team fight. So I would, in this situation, I would play the health pack room that I showed you earlier. You can go up here too, but remember, play flanky, not like Reaper. There's a health pack to your right over there. That's your health pack. You maintain that health pack, that is your best friend right now. Thankfully, the Mauga has decided to run into your team in a straight line and pop cardiac overdrive, and unless you have the best moment ever right now, you're probably dead on the point. Sorry. And that might be the game. This is a rough one. I don't know, like, your teammates have won some crazy team fights, so, like, okay, never mind. Sorry, the solo Juno ult on point wasn't enough. Anyway, just to summarize here, on Ashe, I mean, I kind of went over it right away. You got to make sure you're setting up in much better spots. You're playing that high ground. You like maintain good space control and stop with the. You did a much better job on Anran, but when you're on a hero like Ashe, enough of the. I want you to keep playing the game. I don't want you to pause and just stand there and do nothing. So I think you need to be more proactive on that side. Anran, I pretty much mentioned it multiple times. Try adopting that play style that I mentioned to you of always save and escape. Have your kind of like your farming runs where you go through, you make a play, you get out, you do it again. Like, do that rotation. I'm telling you, you're going to see good results. Believe it or not, more uptime will lead to better results for you. I'm not saying go finish the game with 0 deaths. You're going to have to make some aggressive plays. But always try to have a cooldown out and escape plan to a health pack. You do that, you're going to be in a good spot. I'm telling you, you do that, it's going to go well. All right? A lot of good here, a lot you can work on, but I think once you do, I think you and your trio that you played with there will see improvement. Also, tell your trio not to run into that small room and like a... just a health there too. Anyway, you got this. You absolutely got this. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the YouTube, all of that. It helps. If you want to submit your own, my Discord's where to do that. And if you want to watch more of these, we have another Spectatings that are going to pop up on either side here. Honestly, if you like this one, you're probably going to like those. So give them a try if you haven't. And with that being said, hope you all have an amazing day/night.